Hi everybody, it's Dana. It is New Year's Day. It is almost 11 a.m. I started a video or a little test on Sunday at 11 a.m. That's based on a test Rodney Habib from Planet Paws, along with Karen Becker, Dr. Karen Becker. They started to do a probiotic review. And it's based on a test that livestrong.com suggests, where you take your probiotic and put it into 4 ounces of milk and let it sit at room temperature for 48 hours. And that's supposed to give you an indication of whether your probiotic is actually working well or not. So Rodney did a test with, I don't know, 8 or 9 different probiotics that are commercially produced on the market. I wanted to see what it would look like using Young Living's Life 9. And if you want to watch Rodney's video, there's a 1-week free trial into their paid subscription group called the Inside Scoop. I'm a member of that, along with some other educational groups, but it is a paid service. But they do have a 1-week free trial where you can see the test and the video that he did. I'm going to show you my result from Young Living's Life 9, and then we'll talk about Rodney's summary and other information that helps compare Life 9. I didn't expect, nor do I expect him to compare a product like Young Living as an MLM type company against some of these more commercially marketed and more easily accessible products. But I'll tell you what he said, and I'll tell you a little more about Life 9 in a second. So I took Life 9, the supplement, and I actually opened it up. You'll find in some of the products that are created in a capsule that the capsule is intended to be a time-delayed release, meaning it wants to get it through the digestive system down into the gut, before it starts working. And that's what Life 9 does. It has a coating on the capsule that delays its the beginning of its use. So Rodney did this with powders, with capsules, with a variety of different products that are commercially marketed. This is my 4 ounces of milk and the Life 9 capsule. Yesterday, I thought we were going to have nothing but liquid. I thought this was really not going to give me what I expected. However, you can see today that it's almost solid, but not quite. And this was the result he had in many of his products as well. I don't know if you can see that. I was trying to put it, there is a fair amount of liquid, but there's a lot of solid to it. This is similar to the result he showed. And he basically said it's hooey. That it really doesn't give us enough information with which to judge whether the probiotic is as effective as we think it is or not. And so it's interesting. I wanted to see for myself what Young Living's product would look like. Did it look any different than the others? But here's what really is important to know. In any of the products that we're looking to evaluate for their probiotic efficacy, right, we're looking at a couple of different things. One is the number of strains of bacteria that are in that product that go into the gut and help the gut do what it's supposed to do. How many CFUs? CFUs are the amount of active bacteria in the product. He also looked at a cost per serving, and then he did some additional research based on testing and research information that's available from each of the vendors. So the premise here is that you really should have a significant number of these CFUs. Young Living has 17 billion, that's with a B, active live bacteria cultures. When you're evaluating these other products, you need to look for that number, this CFU, or the millions or billions of live active bacteria cultures. Young Living has 17 billion in Life 9. Some products on the market are as low as 25 million. And there's a Mercola product that Dr. Karen Becker was a consultant on the creation of, or the formulation of, that has 30 billion in it. So that's a significant number. Does everybody need that much on a maintenance basis? Probably not, right? If you have a dog that is extremely unwell or has been unwell and is recovering from something like antibiotic use or really gut health, digestive type issues, then you may need more for some period of time. But on a maintenance basis, I certainly see Young Living being in, there were only 2 others in the category that were, I think it was like 15 to 20 billion was the range he had on there. And there were 2 in that category in his testing. And then I see Young Living in that same category at 17 billion. The number of strains, so Young Living has 9 different bacterial strains. And you can see on Young Living's website the list of those. You can see the 9 itemized there. I can't even pronounce most of them, so I'm going to send you out there to read it. But Young Living has 9 different strains. Some don't have very many strains at all, and others, there was one that had as many as 12. And so then you have to look at the cost. What I found is the cost of the Young Living Life 9 is about the same as the cost of the Mercola product. So I wasn't really alarmed by ours. You know, a lot of people will look at it and go, that seems awfully expensive for a month's worth of usage. And it's really not out of line with what we're seeing in some of the other quality categories, okay? So, it would be important for you to do a little research. Just like everything we talk about, quality of what you're using matters. And we don't want you wasting your money on products that are not well tested, not well qualified, and don't really give you the efficacy of what you expect to receive in using a product like this. So I continue to be very pleased with the results I see using Young Living's Life 9. It is safe for you to use with your dog. I do pop it open and put in food, but you could, if your dog will swallow a capsule, you can certainly do that. When we open it up, we run the risk of potentially degrading the number of live bacteria that make it down into the gut, right? So we reduce that 17 billion a little bit. But again, if your dog will swallow a capsule, then you can absolutely use it that way. There is a children's product that is not safe for dogs. So if you're in the Young Living family, or even if you're looking around for probiotics anywhere, and you start looking at a children's product for your dog, especially for your smaller dogs, you must read the label. Maybe even go on the manufacturer's site and look for a little more detail, because y'all, they don't put everything on the labels. It's a misnomer to think that that label is giving you full detail. It doesn't always. But children's products often contain xylitol. We never want that to be ingested by our dogs. So even in the Young Living family, you would want to avoid the product Mighty Pro, which is a probiotic designed for children, but it is not safe for dogs. Life 9 is, Mighty Pro is not. okay? So who needs a probiotic? Probably everybody. And probably every dog to some degree needs a probiotic. It's one of the things I like about my Volhard food is that there are probiotics built into that. But what probiotics do for us is it helps the bacteria in the gut do its job of digesting food and extracting out nutrients more effectively. If we are a heavily processed diet, all you kibble feeders, right? So again, no judgment about that, but if your dog is on a kibble-based diet, he most likely needs digestive enzymes and probiotics supplemented in his diet, right? To help pull out as much nutrient as possible and to help the bacteria in the gut do its job more effectively. So putting in good bacteria so that that work can happen effectively. If your dog has been unwell and on antibiotics in the past, heavy doses of them, just coming off of them, whatever, that's a good time to supplement with a probiotic choice also to help the gut get itself back into balance after things like antibiotics have gone in and started to do basically the damage that they do to our gut health, right? So other people, other dogs that might need a good probiotic are those of us that are exposed to a lot of toxins in our environment. So if you haven't gone to a toxic-free home yet, you haven't started to minimize your vaccine routines, you haven't dealt with chemicals out in the yard, any of those kind of toxic chemical loads that may be burdening the dog's body could be benefited and supported by adding in a good nutritional supplemental probiotic. So I'm sticking with Life 9. It's a great option for our pets, and would encourage you to, whatever probiotic you're looking at, go do a little research. Look for that number of strains that are in the bacteria. How many strains are in the bacteria? And what's the total bacteria count? Is it as low as 25 million, which is probably not going to be very beneficial to you at all? Or is it in the upper ranges as much as the 17 to 30 billion that are available in some of the other products? So do your homework, make smart decisions, talk with your vet when necessary, but most everybody and most every dog needs probiotics in their diet. So hope this helps, and see you soon.